Hi, everyone. I am back again. And today I'm going to be doing the Synastry chart between Dolly Parton and Carl Dean, her husband. They've been married for 60 years, so I had to go over their chart to see what actually held these two together. And it really doesn't have anything to do with Saturn. Now, his Venus conjuncts her north node at 3 degrees, and her moon conjuncts his north node at 4 degrees. Now, his Venus conjuncting her north node, that's the theme of this relationship for her. Love, because Venus is the love planet. And there's this never-ending love with devotion from her towards him, because his Pholus conjuncts her Vesta asteroid. And Vesta has to do with reliability and devotion and always being there for someone. Her moon also conjuncts his north node, 4 degrees. That has to do with, there's destiny involved here. And Dolly brings a warm, emotionally nurturing influence to the theme of this relationship, because Dolly is the giver here, which has to do with Vesta. And this is a very binding aspect. It's difficult to break. Now, the other possibility with moon conjuncting north node that I've seen, not always, is the possibility of unrequited love. However, they have other binding aspects that add to this karmic bond, and it's a very strong emotional bond, because specifically her Isis conjuncts his Osiris. This is huge. Isis conjuncting Osiris, it's 1 degree. This is classic for a soulmate connection. And it's a story about never-ending devotion by Isis, who is Dolly in this case, to her husband Osiris. And it's a brave, selfless love from Dolly towards him. Now, if you're not familiar with Isis and Osiris and in mythology, Osiris's body was cut up into 14 pieces and scattered around Egypt. And Isis transforms herself into a bird. She flies over the land, recovering him, and with magic puts him back together, because she was mourning the fact that he was gone and she couldn't live without him. Now, his Boda conjuncts her descendant at 0 degrees, and that is the Spanish word for wedding. And since it's conjuncting her descendant, that's what happened. There was a wedding involved here, and his Psyche conjuncts her ascendant. There's soulful connections, and serendipity is conjuncting destiny, and destiny, it's a destined soulful match due to the Psyche, but serendipity is there. So all of a sudden, you find something that you're not looking for out of the blue. Now I'm going to be talking about Jolene, specifically the song and the dynamics behind that. Now, I couldn't leave this out because every relationship has a flip side. And in this case, his nemesis conjuncts her moon at 0 degrees. His Zeus conjuncts her sun at 1 degree. Now, we have two very important luminaries here, which are actually extremely important in a Synastry chart. His nemesis conjuncting her moon, that has to do with betrayal. His Zeus is conjuncting her sun, and that has to do with cheating. So, in this case, there was infidelity involved, and I'm going to let Dolly talk about that and explain this aspect better.
About Jolene. Now, this is a true story for those of you that don't know. I wrote this song about 20 years ago about this woman down in Nashville that worked at the bank. She was trying to take care of my husband while I was out on the road. Well, that didn't go over too big with me. I fought that red-headed woman like a wildcat. She jerked my wig off and almost beat me to death with it. But I kept my husband. I got that sucker home and I beat the tar out of him.
So, there you have it with their with the Jolene song. It was a true story. Now, I looked at the planetary placements on their chart, and it's interesting because they have a few Neptune aspects between the two of them, which would actually play into the dynamics of this relationship as well, because her Venus trines his Neptune. And now the trines are easier than the hard aspects. So with Venus trine Neptune, she's willing to overlook the faults of her husband. And she finds him extremely attractive, and there's an idealized romantic image, which is part of the relationship when Neptune is involved. It's highly romantic and dreamy. And Venus has a tendency to put Neptune into a position where Neptune feels like he's more of, he's better than, she thinks that he's better than he actually is. There's this dreaminess and rose-colored glasses that coincides with Venus trine Neptune. But also her sun trines his Neptune. And Dolly might put him on a pedestal due to the romanticized ideal image that Neptune represents, just like I explained previously. And there's this level of forgiveness in the dynamics between the two of them. There's a shared sense of dreams and fantasy, and also freedom and tolerance that also coincides with sun trining Neptune. So that's basically all I have with these two. I hope he rest in peace to him, and I wish Dolly peace and serenity in the death of her husband. So like I said, that's all I have today. And if you're interested in hearing about more Synastry charts, hit the subscribe button to stay in the loop. Have a nice day.